政经关不了，关不了政经，还有宇宙政经学院论文门开箱的同学们，大家好。今天啊，我知道因为关税的问题给台湾带来的经济造成这个汇率上的这个强烈的波动，接下来呢可能会影响台湾的经济。短则几个月，多则像日本一样，经过了广场协议之后30年一蹶不振。大家都关心这个问题，可以，大家如果关心政经关不了啊，你们可以去这频道订阅、按赞小铃铛，你们会看到我几乎是连续1个礼拜都在谈财经，而且我还会谈个股。那个老师有在讲，你们有没有在听啊？那个对我还会讲哪些股票受到影响，为什么，给各位参考。那你可能会说，彭平你这么厉害哦，你还会报名牌？我是问 ChatGPT， 然后呢，我把几种不同的 ChatGPT 拿来综合一下，然后用我浅薄的经济学的知识把它融会贯通，给大家做个参考。不过今天我一定要用这个时间呢，来介绍川普在1个星期前在阿拉巴马大学的毕业典礼上面的演讲。今天满满的都是谈川普的演讲，不是我偷懒，而是这篇演讲太激励人心，斯巴拉西非常的好，非常好啊 ，excellent。所以我迫不及待要跟大家来分享。
Thank you, Coach. Wow, what a nice-looking group this is. What a beautiful group of people. And especially a very big hello to the University of Alabama. Congratulations to the class of 2025. Roll Tide. Roll Tide. There are things that happen in life that are very important, and you always remember where you were when they happened. As a student at Alabama, you'll always remember where you were when your head coach, Nick Saban, retired. Remember that? Because he's done such a fantastic job. The last time I was here, and that's true with Nick, what a great coach. Let's bring him back. No, you have a good coach right now, though. You have a good coach right now. He was great. But the last time I was here, the Crimson Tide beat the Georgia Bulldogs 41-34. I was here. I got to watch it. That was some game. Today, it's my pleasure to return to this campus as the first president ever to deliver the keynote commencement address to this truly great American university. It's a great school. And there's nowhere I'd rather be than right here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Titletown, USA. That's what it's become. And I love this place. Maybe it's because I won Alabama by 45 points. Could that be the reason? 45? You know, the way they say, the polls have closed in Alabama. Trump has won Alabama immediately. It was very quick. It was very, very quick and nasty. That's what we like. They put all 7 of your commencement ceremonies, I don't know if you know this, but they put them all together first time ever, so I better do well, or I'm in big trouble. But I want to thank President Bell for his 10 years of distinguished service, highly respected gentleman, but 10 years of service to this great university, overseeing the education of 100,000 proud Alabama graduates. That's something to have on your record. I also want to thank Alabama Governor Kay Ivey, who's here with us, and she's a fantastic. Where is she? Where is she? She's around here someplace. She's here. I just took a picture. I said, you're doing a great job, along with the very wonderful man, a friend of mine, Senator Tommy Tuberville. Where's Tommy? Tommy's great. When he wanted to run for the Senate, I said, well, you beat Alabama 6 times in a row. How can you run for the Senate? He said, well, I just look at him and I say, well, I was responsible for them getting Nick Saban. I said, that's a good reason. And he won. Very easily he won. But I'll never forget that. Thanks also to a wonderful person, Representative Lisa McClain, a great person, great, highly respected. Gary Palmer, Robert Adderholt, Dale Strong, Ronnie Jackson, Ralph Norman, along with Lieutenant Governor Will Ainsworth, Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall, Alabama Secretary of State Wes Allen, great people, Alabama Senate President Pro Tem Garland Gudger, Chancellor Sid Trant, and members of the University of Alabama Board of Trustees. But most importantly, and they would agree with this, let's give a big round of applause to your incredible parents, grandparents, and family members. Because they made this wonderful day possible. Oh, you're great. Without them, it doesn't happen. Without them, you probably aren't here, and you wouldn't have that big, beautiful smile on your faces. This year, the graduating Alabama class of 2025 has over 6,600 graduates. You're the largest class in school history. Among your ranks are among the 800 first-generation college students and nearly 3,000 students from right here in the great state of Alabama. Amazing. And this class also includes many Rhodes Scholars, Goldwater Scholars, 213 Merit Scholars, and over 1,500 students graduating with red caps. You know what that signifies? 4.0 GPA. That's a lot of students. That's a lot of students. That's pretty good. I know who I'd pick. I'd look for a red cap. I say, I want you to work for the beautiful Trump administration, this lovely administration. In addition, the class of 2025 has nearly 130 active duty service members, veterans, and members of the University of Alabama, ROTC. Thank you very much. Thank you. Everywhere you look, you can see the fierce spirit of this school, but nowhere more clearly than in your world-class athletics. There's nothing like it. Probably there's no school like it. That's why I would like to recognize the 11 graduating seniors on the University of Alabama football team. Where may they be? Where are they? You just have to look, and they're about a foot taller than everybody else. Oh, great. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Great season. Thank you. Thank you. Great season. There is something truly special about the players, coaches, and the fans who pack the stands at Bryant-Denny Stadium and proudly sing Dixieland Delight. We like that. Alabama has changed college football forever and inscribed into the history books the names of Bear Bryant, Joe Namath, 4 Heisman Trophy winners, and of course, the great Nick Saban. This place is truly where legends are made. It really is. It's a special place. When your president called, we talked about it. It took me about 2 seconds to say, I'll go. I wasn't looking to do it, and we are busy. You know, we're winning a lot of battles right now. We love winning, don't we? Love winning. We're winning a lot of battles. But I wanted to do this. For the University of Alabama, good isn't good enough, tough isn't tough enough, and great isn't great enough. The Crimson Tide does not rest, does not quit, and does not stop winning until it's all time. You know, it's all time. You're always winning, and you're going to keep winning. That's why the University of Alabama football team has won more games in the last decade than any college football team in America. That's not bad. And it's why last fall you beat Auburn for the 5th year in a row. That's not bad. That's not bad. The University of Alabama has a brand, and that brand is winning. That brand is winning. Great school. Last year, the Crimson Chaos watched the Tide Hoops make it to the Final Four for the first time ever. And this year, you built on your incredible record and returned to the Elite Eight. So not only is Alabama a great football school, it's now one of the nation's best basketball schools, and congratulations. And I love sports, and I think I should have come here. Congratulations as well to the women's track and field team for winning 2 SEC titles this year. That's something. As long as I'm president, we will always protect women's sports. Men will not play in women's sports. No way. They say that's an 80-20 issue. No, it's a 97-3 issue, I think. No, men will not be playing in women's sports. I said that, and I classified it with a very powerful executive order. As you know, it's done. The class of 2025 was the first to enter the halls of this university in the aftermath of COVID-19. Following a difficult senior year of high school, many of you came here to Tuscaloosa from around the country, and for the very first time, you experienced something called freedom. You had freedom. So let's give a big round of applause to the leaders of this state who chose liberty over lockdowns. They did a good job. Did a good job. As you know, there are a few campuses in the world more beautiful than this one, and there are a few memories sweeter than the ones you have formed really at this capstone and at the capstone. You'll miss the beautiful sounds of Denny chimes, the excitement of lining the Walk of Champions, the Saturday tailgates at the Quad. As you graduate, it's natural to reflect on 4 years of happy memories, and you've really had happy memories here. You've done a lot of winning. Winning is a good thing to do. But today I'm also asking you to look forward to really something very, very bright and more promising, and it's going to be an even more promising tomorrow, I promise you that. You're the first graduating class of the golden age of America. We're in the golden age. You watch. It's the golden age. This is the golden age. We've done things that nobody thought possible. 100 days yesterday, 100 days, and we've done things that nobody thought even possible. Like many generations before you, you're graduating at an exciting time for our nation, a period of both extraordinary change and incredible potential and what will be unbelievable growth. You're going to see that very soon. You're going to see it starting very, very soon. The whole world is talking about it. Our country has always been defined by its ability to reform and reinvent itself, to meet the challenges of the next era. And in government, it is the task of your generation to replace bureaucracy, graft, and waste with a new system that defends American freedom. These are big tasks before you, but the reward for your hard work will be the United States of America is stronger, prouder, better, and more unified than ever, ever, ever before. It's going to be. As you embark on this great adventure, let me share some of the biggest lessons I've learned from a lifetime spent building dreams and beating the odds. I beat a lot of odds. A lot of odds. A lot of people said, I don't know. But it worked out okay. Where are we? Oh, gee, I'm president. How did that happen? Now, you're going to be in the same position. But some of the would you like to hear some of the ideas, or should I just skip over that part, huh? That's going to be more interesting than all the other stuff, which was slightly political, right? I'm going to give it to you, though, just as I see it and as I've learned it, the hard way and the easy way. First, if you're here today and think that you're too young to do something great, let me tell you that you are wrong. You're not too young. You can have great success at a very young age. You're all very young. In America, with drive and ambition, young people can do anything. I was 28 when I took my first big gamble to develop a hotel in Midtown Manhattan, the Grand Hyatt, and it worked out incredibly well. but I was very young at the time. I was like a very young person in sort of an old person business. Steve Jobs was 21 when he founded Apple. Walt Disney was 21 when he founded Disney. James Madison, James Monroe, Alexander Hamilton, Thomas Jefferson. They were no older than 25 when they began the journeys that etched their names into the history books for all time. So to everyone here today, don't waste your youth. Go out and fight right from the beginning, from the day you leave this incredible university. Go out and fight tough, fight fair, but go out and fight. You're going to be very successful because now is the time to work harder than you have ever worked before. Push yourself further than you have ever pushed yourself before. Find your limits and then smash through everything. Go and smash through. You've watched that football team smash through. You're going to do the same thing. You're at the age when you have the time and vitality to do really incredible things. If you just give it your all. You'll look back and a decade from now, you'll be astounded by what you've achieved. You'll remember this day. You'll remember when the guy named Trump was giving the commencement address and he said I could do it, and guess what? I did. I think you're going to remember that very fondly. I hope so. Second of all, and very importantly, you have to love what you do. Okay? You have to. I rarely see somebody that's successful that doesn't love what he or she does. That's way you really like. Work isn't work. It's fun. I find it fun. I work all the time and I find it fun. If I didn't find it fun, I wouldn't be successful, whether it was real estate or in show business. I had a lot of different careers, but I loved real estate so much, and I was very successful at real estate because I loved it. I learned a lot from my father because I watched him work. He worked he was a workaholic. He loved to work. He's a good man. He was a tough guy, tough as hell, actually. Now that I think back, I don't know if you could even get away with that nowadays. He was tough, but he was a good man, I'll tell you. And he worked 7 days a week. He worked Saturdays, Sundays, it didn't matter. And I learned by watching him, he loved his life. He loved what he was doing. He had a great long-term marriage, a long, many years. He beat me on that one. No, mine are very successful, but they haven't lasted quite as long. It was close to 70 years. That was a long time. I said, Pop, you beat me on that one. But you know what I learned from him? That he loved life, and all he did was work. I see people that don't work hard, and they're miserable. So go out and find. But he loved what he was doing. And you have to find something that you love, and you have to follow your own instincts. Listen to your parents. They're very wise, but you have to follow your instincts and your heart, your soul, and you want to be the very, very best you can be. Treat every day like a home game against Auburn. Fight like hell and enjoy doing it, and your coach can tell you all about that. Third thing is to think big. You know, you're going to do something, you might as well think big, because it's just as tough. You can think small. I know a lot of people, they thought small. They're very smart. I know others that weren't nearly as smart, but they had a better picture of the big picture, because it's just as hard to solve a small problem as a big problem, and it's just as much energy and everything else, except the result is going to be a smaller one. So love what you do, but think big if it's possible. Now, if it's not possible, that's okay too. You do something, you have to do something that you love. You will have all the same headaches and challenges, all the same delays and setbacks, so you might as well do something that's just amazing. America doesn't aim small, Alabama doesn't aim small, and neither do you. So think big when possible, think big.
川普一上台，满堂喝彩。有人会说：“哎，你怎么在毕业典礼讲些有的没的？”对，果然没错，你讲对了。纽约时报 （New York Times） 果然呢、就批评川普说，他在这个毕业典礼中 mix in politics， 就是把这个政治切进去讲。可是你有没有注意到，那些年轻人，原来年轻人大部分是左派，可是你可以看到满场的这个掌声、嘘声、叫声。当然，你可能可以说不高兴的人的声音是被埋过去，或他们没有表达。可是你会注意到几件事情，他呢谈到美国 Make America Great Again， 谈到边境的问题，谈到男人不能欺负女人啊，不能在这个拳击场上欺负女人，诸如此类的时候，满场的掌声。就是说，美国有左派有右派思想，可是在一些核心价值上面还是有共识的，所以可以证明什么？证明美国的年轻人是有未来的，不像台湾的1450蟾蜍青鸟，他们只有左右，只有政党，没有是非。你们去看看这群年轻人的反应，有些东西他们未必认同，所以掌声比较少；有些东西他们就掌声如雷。你可以知道，有些事实上是共和党，是川普的独有的政见，但是是跟美国的主要价值有关的，还是一样全场热烈的掌声。那我们就来看看刚才这一段就是非常的精彩啊。那他提到哪些问题呢？首先我们要来看看，就是第一个，他告诉美国的所有的年轻人说，你们不要以为你们年轻，你们一点都不年轻。你们在这个年纪正是做大事的时候，告诉一个21、22岁刚刚踏出校门的年轻人说，你别以为你年轻。他说我川普呢28岁的时候，我就在并购了，正在处理这个君悦饭店的整个资产。他说你们这个年纪正是个做大事的年纪。第二个呢，他提出来很重要的第二点，他说热爱你的工作。他说工作的目的只是一个起点。他说工作呢，你的目的是要让你能够有乐趣啊，这个才是你工作的目的啊。我这有趣啊，我们很多人工作呢，一到要上班呢，民忧民港啊，那很多人呢觉得，我是不得已，我不就是弄一份混份薪水，混口饭吃啊。但是工作是你的乐趣，那你就成功了。所以宇宙正义学院的同学们，我们一定成功。为什么？因为打击这个诈骗，拉下贾博士，我拉下的意思不是拉下总统我把他拉下神坛，把他丢进监狱，这是我的乐趣。真的，我打着打着变成乐趣。为什么？因为这件事情的背后有更大的意义在。越是台湾的司法包庇蔡英文，越是英国装傻，越是这个很多人呢当作没看到，我越是有乐趣。为什么？这证明我选择的是一条人烟稀少，但是通往天堂的道路。因为圣经上说，天堂的门是窄的。如果你发现一条路很大，喝酒玩乐，好多人去参加个舞会，好多人对不对？参加一个那个政治的那个这个造势会，好多人我要告诉大家，当你看到很多人的时候，证明这条路应该不是通往天堂的，因为圣经上说，通往天堂的路是非常非常的窄的。好，接下来我们要来看川普说的。他说他呢经历了不同的工作，从房地产业到演艺圈他说他的人生经历是很特别的，所以给这些刚毕业的同学们一个勉励，你们21、22岁，你们一点都不年轻，你们这个年纪可以做很多的大事。第三点，川普提到了，他说要从小处着眼，凡事从小处着眼。他说解决小问题跟解决大问题是一样的，你们要常常的思考。我觉得这三点对现在的年轻人来讲真是暮鼓晨钟这也为什么川普在今年的6月14号，在1个月他就要过他的79岁生日，可以在美国历史上唯一一个打不死的不死鸟。选战打不死，枪打不死，这样的人 你不得不赞叹不管你喜欢他不喜欢他，他确实是一个不凡的人物。尤其是这样的人去给大学生一个演讲，我觉得非常的励志，比那些什么拿诺贝尔奖的啦，比那些什么教授啊、企业家啊，这些人在人生的过程当中，可能做了很多狗屁倒灶的事情吧。像川普，当然了，很多人会说川普也做了很多狗屁倒灶的事情，确实很少有人像他这样被指控了，不光是性侵就讲指控了好几个，对不对？光破产，一说是6次，一说是4次还有他呢，一直到2024年，他还没有选上之前，他被起诉了多少？91项刑事指控在佛罗里达州呢，因为伪造商业记录被控了34个罪名；在纽约州在佛罗里达州因为处理机密文件不当被控了37个罪名；在华盛顿特区因为干预2020年的选举被指控了4项罪名；在 Georgia 在乔治亚州呢，因为试图推翻2020年选举的结果被控了16项罪名，91项刑事指控对不对？我们宇宙政经学院的同学，我们算什么？我们不过只有一个嘛，就是我们妨害名誉、加重诽谤嘛，对不对？这有什么了不起？所以 fight，OK， 同意我这个说法的，请加一，请加一fight 没什么了不起的再来，这个川普他呢还有申请过几次破产呢？我手边有的记录，1991年、1992年、2004年、2009年，一共申请了4次破产。一般正常人申请4次破产，不要说4次啦，2次大概就已经摸名倒灰，不敢出来江湖混了。他没在怕，他主要涉及的是有关于赌场跟酒店所以他的背景其实真的跟美国的那一种所谓的传统形象很好的公众人物真的不太合。可是川普的精神确实不得不让人佩服。再来，川普是美国历史上唯一的一个被连续弹劾2次的总统，再也没有第二个了。2019年因为跟乌克兰的总统的通话被控滥用职权跟妨害国会。2021年的1月6号国会骚扰事件当中被控煽动叛乱。2次弹劾呢，目前在参议院都判无罪。这个就政治现实今天如果当选的是 Kamala Harris， 我看他死刑了吧。所以人生是这样子的，你不需要豪赌，但是你需要为你坚持的理念无怨无悔的付出代价，这样的人就值得佩服。好，那么目前为止呢，还有你有听过一个卸任的总统加倍搜索吗？我想有啦，陈水扁的这个川普呢，在2022年的8月8号，在佛罗里达的海湖庄园被搜索，因为他被指控说他把很多国家的机密文件搬回家。哪个总统不干这个事对吧？好，那接下来我们就要来看一看川普总统他一共讲了11点来勉励 University of Alabama。 这个阿拉巴马州呢，算是一个中等富裕的，就是说它其实是一个比较偏远的南方州。那你要说它是铁锈带吗？也不见得称得上，但它绝不是个富裕的地方。那阿拉巴马最好的学校就是 University of Alabama， 也不是一个顶尖的学校，在美国可能100名都有点看不起看不差那这一次他到那里呢，却给他们很大的激励跟鼓舞。好，我们接下来看他从第4点到第6点。
Fourth is work hard. Work hard. Never ever stop. An example is a great athlete, actually, Gary Player, golfer, great golfer. He wasn't as big as other men. He was actually on the small side. Don't tell him that. Friend of mine, don't tell him that because he doesn't understand that. But he worked very, very hard. He made up for it. He never stopped. He won 168 golf tournaments. Think of that, 100. I said, Gary, you're winning like every weekend. Do you ever choke or anything? I don't know what choke means. And he made a statement years ago that I read, and I thought it was sort of an incredible statement. He said, it's funny, the harder I work, the luckier I get, right? Think of that. The harder I work, the luckier I get. So you really have to work hard, and you're going to be successful because you have the talent. To get into this school is not easy. To get through it is even more difficult. You have a lot of talent. Fifth is don't lose your momentum. You just want to keep it going, and you have to know if you are losing it, you have to know when you're losing it, so maybe you stop and maybe it's time to stop. Listen to the feedback, think through your plan very carefully, and keep moving fast. You have to know when your momentum time is up. I call it momentum time, but follow your momentum. It's a very important word. You don't hear it from too many, but I've seen it a lot. Number 6, if you want to change the world, you have to have the courage to be an outsider. In other words, you have to take certain risks and do things a little bit differently. Otherwise, if that weren't the case, everybody would be successful. It doesn't work that way. Progress never comes from those satisfied with the failures of a broken system. It comes from those who want to fix the broken system. And you'll make the bigger money, you'll make the more success by acting that way. The other way may be more secure, but if you want to go to the top, you're just never going to do it unless you break the system. Change is never easy, and the closer you get to success, the more ferociously those with a vested interest in the past will resist you. They want to resist. So I just say, trust me on that, because I know you really do. You have to break the system a little bit and follow your own instincts. But if your vision is right, nothing will hold you down. Nothing. You have to have the right vision. If you look at some of these internet people, I know so many of them. Elon is so terrific, but I know now all of them, they all hated me in my first term, and now they're kissing my ass, Do you know? It's true. All of them. It's true. It's amazing. It's nicer this way. Now, in the first, they didn't know what happened because I won an election that, there was never a businessman that won a presidential election. Out of 100%, 8% were generals and 92% were politicians. Not even admirals, not even just generals. There were 8 generals, General Washington, General Grant, General Eisenhower. But 8% were generals and 92% were politicians. And when I ran, everyone said, well, he can't win. He's a businessman. That's not going to work. And, but you have a natural instinct for things. I guess I had a natural instinct. I said to somebody, was I a better businessman or a politician? And they said, well, there are a lot of guys that made a lot of money, but there's only one guy that became president that was a businessman, so I guess you're a better politician. But I don't think of myself as a politician. I think of myself as a businessman, and I'm proud of that. And I've applied business instinct, and that's why I think you're seeing us doing so well.
川普呢这段话里面讲了一个很重要的东西，他说什么？他说 work hard， 努力的工作。他说他的爸爸的例子给了他很好的一个典范。接下来他又说了一句话，他说 never stop， 永不停止，永不放弃。他引用了一个伟大的高尔夫球员，一个 golfer 说，他说我越努力我越幸运。如果今天你老觉得说为什么幸运之神老是不会眷顾我，我怎么那么倒霉，记得川普说的话，我越努力我越幸运。接下来川普还提到了一件事情，他说永远不要失去动力。这个动力呢，他讲的是 momentum， 你永远不要失去动力，要坚持到底。这就是我们宇宙政经学院同学们的校训，不是吗？我们有任何一天放弃过吗？我们有任何一天失去把菜片子送到土城的动力吗？对不对？这个 momentum 这个字眼很有意思。momentum 在物理学上的意思呢是 mv， 质量乘上速度，这个东西叫做动量momentum。什么意思呢？就是说你不但要速度很快，而且你要很重，又重又快，这就是 momentum 你想想看，为什么有一个脚踏车或者这个滑板车滑得很快，速度很大，可是撞到你，你可能顶多倒在路边，不会怎么样，因为它的速度很大，但质量很小，所以它的 momentum 动量很小。但是今天呢，有一部大卡车轻轻碰你一下，我看你就很麻烦了。为什么？因为大卡车的质量很大，虽然速度很慢，但是它的 动量 MV momentum 还是很大，那就不要讲一辆火车如果急速的开来，我看恐龙也挡不住。为什么？因为速度很大，质量很大，所以它的 momentum 它的动量就会非常的大。那这个 momentum 呢，在川普的意思当中，他讲的是一个非常巨大的动能啊，不要忘记，也不要这个 never give up， 非常非常的有这个启发性。好，第6点，川普说了一个很重要的事情，说永远不要怕承担风险。他说要做一点不一样的事情，不要跟大家都一样。如果你跟大家都一样的话，那你要怎么样赢别人？你怎么会成功呢？他说不要怕承担风险，做有风险的事情，尤其对年轻人来说。他说改变不容易啊。他说不要怕框框条条，要打破限制。而且呢，他说你只要愿景正确，没有人能够阻止你。不是有一句俗话说嘛，你只要知道你的明确目标，所有人都会为你让路，这是非常重要的。那他还开了一个玩笑，全场大笑。你去看川普他的这份演讲，他确实是一开始呢就跟大家播钢琴，告诉大家说阿拉巴马这个最近的这个 football 球队有多厉害，里面有哪些球员，他们赢了哪几场，然后又开始细数在阿拉巴马呢有哪些这个参议员，哪些众议员，哪些这个有名的人啊，在历史上啊，还有一些很特别的音乐家，各方面就一个一个细数，就先跟你拉近距离。这真的是一个很特别的一个演讲。那他又说了，他说在美国的历史上啊，8%是将军当选了美国总统，92%是传统的政客当选了总统。在美国历史上没有一个商人当选总统。他说呢，他当了2次啊。那这些带了一点自夸，但是很有自信的一个演讲，赢得满堂的喝彩。川普真的会跟年轻人拔钢琴。我坦白说，我觉得他是历史上不是最 decent speech， 但是却最吸引掌声的一个 speech。他没有什么了不起的什么，不要问这个世界为我做什么，不要问国家为我做什么，要为我为国家做什么啊，也没有什么 I shall be back， 没有这种可以跨世纪的啊振聋发聩、掷地有声的口号，但是他的每个例子都非常浅显易懂，而且就会让你觉得打到心坎里啊。接段广告，我们再来看后面还有很精彩的内容。政经关不了政经。川普呢，不但在阿拉巴马的毕业典礼上面 传达了自己的意识形态，他还从头到尾在酸对手谈政治。那各位可以听到那种掌声，有些地方大家全场鼓掌，表示虽然我不赞成，但是我虽然可能是左派，但是我还是认同你这个观点。有些大家就没有那么多的掌声，但是有一个地方各位注意了，当他说我再强调一次，性别只有2种 ，men and women， 又是全场的掌声啊！如果各位对这件事情有所怀疑的话，那可能你在现场就会坐立难安啊。他讲了一个非常重要的东西啊，你不要为了几的人，8%的人吧，去改变92%的人啊。他说你要知道，他说这不是一个30-70的比例哈，这是一个5%跟95%的比例啦。他的意思是说，你性别错乱认同的人，你顶多就是5%、8%啊，这不是一个30-70的比例。那30-70比例，那我们来讨论一下，那你根本就是一个 outlier， 你根本就是一个例外者，你凭什么在这个社会要求站在一个跟别人一模一样的这个地位嘛？这个讲的很有道理啊，对不对？我可不可以因为我今天是一个左撇子啊，我就规定，全校园里面你至少要有一半的这个设备啊，包括这个球赛或什么，一定要为左撇子而生，可以这样吗？那我右撇子，我倒霉了吗？对不对？我明明就是95%的代表性，现在我变50%啦，所以这个问题值得大家去思考，什么叫做人权，什么叫做平等啊？好，接下来这个川普啊，他在这一段下面，他狠狠的酸了这个拳击赛的，他就差没有把林郁婷3个字讲出来。他讲了，他说拳击赛男人打女人啊，他说这种事在我眼里永远不会发生。全场如雷的掌声，不管你是左派啊，你是 LGBTQ 都一样，全场如雷的掌声。好，接下来呢，我们再来看看川普啊，还有其他的最后面的4点演讲。
So number 7 is to trust your instincts, common sense. You can go very far in life with common sense. And I applied that to politics because some of these things, like they had open borders. Let everybody in the whole world flow into our country. That's not common sense. They had transgender for everybody. We ended that, if you noticed, okay? But they had transgender for everybody. They said, I said, this is not working. This is not going to work. As I said before, so simple. Men playing in women's sports. Did you ever see some of the records? Did you ever see some of these boxing matches? We have to protect. These women are great athletes, but we have to protect. If you looked at the Olympics where they had transitioned people going into the boxing, where the women had boxing, and they had a great champion, a female boxer. I mean, after one punch, you walk back to the corner, said, I can't get hit like that. I've never been hit like that before. You look at all the volleyball players that have been hurt so badly with balls that are hit at levels that they've never seen before. But the greatest is like weightlifting. You ever see the weightlifting? Where they have a record that wasn't broken in 18 years? And they have, should I imitate it? My wife gets very upset when I do this. She said, darling, it's not presidential. I said, yeah, but people like it. Should I do it or not? All right, I'm in trouble when I get home, but that's okay. What the hell? I've been in lots of trouble before. But no, you look at the weightlifting where 18 years it stands, and they have this young woman, and her parents are right where you are in the front row, and they're so proud of her, and it's like 209 pounds, and she's going to lift that. The record stood for 18, think of it, 18 years, and they put 1/8 of an ounce here, and 1/8 of an ounce here, little bit, and she's going to do it. Mom, I love you. I'm going to do it for you, Mom. And she goes, and she lifts, and she gets it, and Mom, I'm going to do it, Mom. Can't do it. And then a guy comes along, or a gal, or whatever. A transitioned person comes along. And he was a failed weightlifter as a man, but he comes along 206 pounds. They put the little thing on, and he goes, boom, boom. And breaks the record like by 119 pounds. That's not right. The other one is the swimming. You've heard me talk about it. Great swimmers, and they rose to the top. Women swimmers, and they grew up together. And they're Olympic class swimmers, and they're qualifying for some big tournament. And now the race is getting ready to start, the big race, and one young lady, she was going to set the record. She fought all her life to set the record. She has to win it by one ninth of a second. Think of that, 1/9. I don't like those odds, 1/9 of a second, right? But she looks to the left and she sees all the friends that she grew up with down in California, from all over the country. They're all the best swimmers. Then she looks to the right and she sees the same thing, but there's a person next to her who's a giant. And she looks and she, oh my God, who is that? I don't recognize that person. That was a person that transitioned, and he had the wingspan of Wilt the Stilt Chamberlain, if anybody knows what. And as you know what happened, she was very, very badly injured in that meet because he went by her so fast that she was windburned. They had to take her out. She got serious windburn. He flew back and forth, and she didn't know what, but she got the hell knocked out of her, knowing that I'm only kidding. She wasn't windburned. She was just beaten by a lot. Or the race, did you see the race where they had the best female runners, and they had a guy who was a decent runner, a long-distance race? And he won by 5 hours and 19 seconds. Normally you win by like 12 seconds, 2 seconds, a quarter of a second. He won by 5 hours and 19 seconds. It's crazy. And honestly, it's demeaning for women, very demeaning. These are great athletes. It's very demeaning, and we're going to protect women. We're going to protect women. We're going to protect everybody. So now that I'm in trouble with my wife, I'm going to blame the University of Alabama for asking me to go through with that stuff. But it's pretty descriptive, isn't it, really? It helps when you know that borders are not racist, speech is not violence, America is good, terrorists are bad, men can never become women, police are not criminals, and criminals are not victims. Eighth, everybody should believe. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, peach, you're my sweet delight, juicy and ripe in the pale moonlight. Your curves so smooth, your taste divine. Peach, you're mine, oh mine.
正经关不了，关不了正经。好，接下来川普又谈到了，他说美国梦 American Dream 又激励了在场一片的掌声。还有他提到一个很重要的事情，他说你永远要相信自己是赢家，不要怀疑自己啊。那么他说呢，你要 positive thinking， you are not victim, you are winner。好，今天呢，我要把这番话告诉宇宙正义学院所有的同学，那也要告诉柯文哲啦，告诉这个橘子啦园丁啊你们可能会觉得你们的人生荡到了谷底啊。记得，假设你们没有做错事，跟我们宇宙正义学院的同学们一样，抬得起头，挺得起胸，那么你坚持下去，你一定会是 winner。那些残害你的人，到头来会落荒而逃，就像川普眼中的那些逼迫他的人一样。而且呢，他不断的告诉大家，他还大喊了一句 Never give up。 好，另外这里面提到了一件事情，他激励每一个年轻人说，上帝创造你们是独一无二的，上帝创造每一个人独一无二，在上帝眼中全是宝贝，不管你缺少什么，不管你的处境如何，你们永远是上帝的宝贝。川普讲得非常清楚，而且是独一无二的宝贝，所以请大家珍惜自己。另外，这个他提到了一件事情，就是希望大家能够坚持自己的事，就是永远不要放弃，努力往前。我也有一个14个字给我的儿子，有的时候会稍微教训一下老婆。这14个字呢是座右铭：失败的人找借口，成功的人找方法。我们都会尝到很多的挫折、不公平、不好的待遇，大部分的人都说那是因为什么什么因为蔡英文害我，因为蔡英文这个拥有国家机器，因为司法都听他的，这叫做找借口。通常你找完借口之后，现状不会改变。所以成功的人呢是找方法。我不管你现况如何，我不管你的理由是什么，我放到一边。我说既然是如此，那我们用什么方法来突破，才能够把蔡英文抓起来送到土城去？这叫做成功的人找方法。好，川普呢还提到了一点非常的感人，他提到了直接酸了蔡同学，那个蔡他说今天我虽然有这个读稿机你会注意川普看左边看右边的时候，他事实上在看读稿机，就有一些比较精密的数字跟人名，他在看读稿机。但川普说，我虽然有读稿机，但是我今天讲的话绝大部分都不是读稿机的内容他说什么？他说我呢不需要一个读稿机，这样不是更好吗？那就是狠狠酸了一个眼睛离开读稿机就不知道要讲什么的蔡同学。好，最后川普感人的一个部分是，他高举圣经，而且高举美国的国旗，跟美国的国旗致敬。这个79岁的老先生おじさん，中气十足，信心满满。这一段呢，的确，我觉得对每一个宇宙正经学的同学们，不管你们现在在高山还在低谷，这一番演讲，我相信都会激励你，还有包括你周边的朋友，赶快把这一段呢传去给你朋友们。不管他喜不喜欢川普，你仔细听他说的话，是不是非常的激励人心呢？
Everybody should believe in the American dream. It's real, it's there, and it's right before you. We're coming back to the American dream. Ninth, think of yourself as a winner. The power of positive thinking. Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, from many years ago, wrote a book, The Power of Positive Thinking. And there is a lot to it, the power of positive thinking. Don't consider yourself a victim. Consider yourself a winner. In recent years, too many of our young people have really been taught to think of themselves as victims and blame people and be angry. Don't be angry. But in America, we reject that idea that anyone is born a victim. Our heroes are the ones who take charge of their own destiny, make their own luck, and determine their own fate despite the odds, despite all odds. That's what happens. They're given a little chance in many cases, very little chance of success, and they become the most successful people in the world. Whether you were born rich or poor, black or white, male or female in America, anyone can be a winner, and our whole country will be cheering you on, and I'll be at the front of the line cheering you on, especially because you come from this incredible university. And next is to be an original. The old-time greats were people who had the confidence to be a little different. Teddy Roosevelt, Douglas MacArthur, George Patton, Amelia Earhart, Annie Oakley, Muhammad Ali, and so many others, far too many to name, lived their lives with pride, personality, and flair. God only created one of you. Remember that. God created one of you. You're all different. Some are close, but nobody is the same. You're one of a kind, so don't try to be someone else. Just be yourself. And finally, and most importantly, never, ever give up. Never give up. Never give up. And I've learned anything in life, and it's so true. One of the most important things you can learn, if you just went a little bit longer, if you just held out a little bit longer, you would have been successful. Well, the stories of that are legend. But I've learned that perseverance is everything, so whatever happens, no matter where you are in life, stay optimistic and just keep pushing forward. Just don't stop. Never, ever give up. Victory is right around the corner. I've watched Coach Saban win games that really were virtually over. You've seen it. You've been in the stands. He won a couple of games. I said, Coach, you got lucky as hell. He said, I didn't get lucky. I'm a talented guy. You know, those little touchdowns that come out of nothing, he's amazing. But he's a guy that doesn't quit and doesn't know what the word quit even means. He couldn't define it. He took victory out of the jaws of defeat, and you can do that too at every stage in my career. My enemies, of which there were many and probably are right now, I can think of a couple of people that don't like me too much right now. But they said that they have to do everything they can to keep me from winning, to keep me from making it. And I'm representing you, so I have to make it. I have big shoulders, but these are big shoulders. I have to win for you. I'm not winning for myself. I'm winning for you. Do you remember when they said that Donald Trump will never become president of the United States? Remember Barack Hussein Obama said that? Barack Hussein Obama. Donald Trump will never be president. Like 50 other politicians said that. Where are they now? Oh, let me see. Oh, there they are. Where are they now? But here I am standing before you as the 45th and 47th president. You heard that a lot. But against all odds, I did great in 2016. 2016, how great was that? And then I did much better in 2020. Sorry, the election was rigged. But it was a rigged election. And then in 2024, I made it too big to rig. I said, we got to do this again. We got to do this again. And we made it too big to rig. We made it. That was a great expression. I said, you got to go and vote. Even though I was leading big in the polls, I said, it doesn't matter. You got to make it too big to rig. And they did. They went out and they voted and voted and voted. And we won the whole thing. And it was so good. And it's such a great mandate for our country. That's the important thing. So never let anyone tell you that something is impossible. Ever, ever, ever. In America, the impossible is what we all do best. There is nothing you cannot do if you are willing to fight for it. You got to fight, fight, fight. Oh, I've heard that expression. Funny. That's not here. That's not here on the actually, most of what I've said tonight is not on the teleprompter. That's all right. Isn't it nice to have a president that doesn't need a teleprompter and can sort of have a little fun? Because I feel that this is home. You know, it's been such a great state for me. I feel it's home. When they said Alabama, I said, that has a good ring to me. But it's something nice about somebody that doesn't need a teleprompter, isn't it? Huh? But for the past 4 years, you've lived in a state known for its fighters, its champions, and its warriors, and you've lived in the great state of Alabama, one of the greatest of them all, from Huntsville to Birmingham, from Montgomery to Mobile, and from right here in Tuscaloosa. To the gleaming shores of the Gulf of America. Gulf of America. That's a nice thing. Everybody loves it. I wouldn't say Mexico's thrilled, but you can't have them all. They're not thrilled. You continue the legacy of Alabama legends who blazed the trails, won the games, tilled the fields, forged the steels, built the ships, and gave us the victories that built America and changed the world. The entire world was changed by our victories. This is the state that gave us the might of the Iron City, the power of the Saturn V rocket, and the roaring engines of Talladega. Talladega. We love Talladega. We love Talladega. This is the state that gave us nothing but victory, the state of some of the greatest heroes in history, like Willie Mays, Jesse Owens, Joe Louis, your coach, Nick Saban, Hank Williams, and many others. Some of you will leave here today and travel the world, but you will always know that this state this is really sweet home Alabama, right? It's always going to be your place. I sort of feel that way myself, because from a political standpoint, it's just been, we connected from day one. From the first day I set my foot on this beautiful soil, I connected with Alabama. And here in Alabama, we believe that the men and women who built this country are heroes, and that America's destiny is to be the single greatest nation on the face of the earth. And we're bringing it back at a speed that nobody thought was possible. We believe in freedom and family, God and country. We cherish our Constitution, we revere our Bible, and we salute our great American flag. We honor our police, we respect our veterans, and we always stand for our one and only national anthem. We love our national anthem. We believe in strong parents, strong values, strong communities, and very strong borders. And we believe that the United States military is the greatest force for peace and justice the world has ever known. We have a great military. We just had people that didn't know how to lead it. We believe the South is beautiful, Alabama is great, and America is our home. We believe in the SEC and the USA. Graduates of the Alabama class of 2025 standing here before you in this magnificent arena, it is clear to see the next chapter of the American story will not be written by the Harvard Crimson. It will be written by you, the Crimson Tide. True. That's true. That's true. That's true. I thought that was rather clever. If you look at what's going on, they get their $5 billion a year. That is not going to be so forthcoming. Now, wasn't that a clever one, though? Huh? Who would think of that? Because this is Alabama, and at Alabama, you fight, and you win. That's what you know how to do. Congratulations to you all. Congratulations to this great class of champions. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
又到了夜深人静的时候，要跟大家分享上帝的话语，在希伯来书的第11章第1节，信就是所望 之事的实底，未见之事的确据。希望大家信心满满，风雨生信心。祝大家平安喜乐，有个愉快的夜晚。明天见。
喜欢我们的影片，请在下方点下订阅按钮，也别忘了开启旁边的小铃铛。谢谢大家。